My name's Kara, and welcome to my home studio. Today, I've curated the best home studio setup for beginners on a $1,000 budget. Shopping for your first home studio setup can be a very overwhelming and daunting task. There's a lot of options, a lot of opinions, and you don't really get to understand what things sound like while you're purchasing it. But luckily for you, I have been professionally reviewing audio equipment for the last few years now, and I have tried all of the best budget options. So here is my personally curated home studio setup for beginners. Not only am I going to be showing you everything you need, but you're also going to get to hear exactly what this setup sounds like with the vocal recording session at the end, plus helpful voiceovers recorded through this exact setup so you can hear it in action. But back to the video. As I review each piece of gear, I'm going to be tallying up the total cost. On this side, you're going to be seeing the brand new retail price, and on this side will be the current used market value. I think you're going to be really surprised at how much money you can actually save by buying used gear. Now let's clear off this table and rebuild our studio piece by piece. First, I want to address that I've made this entire list assuming that you have a computer. You don't need a super expensive computer to produce music. You can even use your iPhone or your iPad. But if you would like my personal recommendations for beginners, you can find this M1 Max MacBook Pro for a great deal in 2025. But if you prefer desktop computers over laptops, this M4 Mac Mini is a great option. Like I said, you can do music production on any type of Windows or Mac computer. However, the minimum computer specs I'd recommend in 2025 are at least 1 terabyte of SSD storage, at least 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a processor chip that's M1 Max or newer. Since M1 has already been replaced by M2, M3, and M4, they're easy to find new for under $2,000. But they can also be purchased used on eBay for around $1,200 in excellent condition for the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is my personal favorite. M4 Mac Minis are newer, faster, smaller, and cheaper, but they do require you to purchase a separate computer monitor, mouse, and keyboard, which can be expensive if you don't already have these things around the house. After your laptop, your main centerpiece of your home studio is your interface. This is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th generation. I would say that this is one of the most popular options for beginners, and for good reason. The sound quality is phenomenal, the build quality is reliable, and the software has every feature you could possibly need as a beginner. Other than your computer, your audio interface is the main centerpiece of your studio where everything gets connected and controlled. Interfaces with 2 inputs are a great starting point for beginners because it covers 99% of vocal and instrument recording setups. The technology inside entry-level devices has become so good in 2025 that you basically can't go wrong with any of the popular brand options. Some other favorites I've tested include Volt 2 by Universal Audio and the Quantum ES2 by Presonus, which all cost around the same price as Focusrite. The Scarlett 2i2 4th generation retails for $199, but you can save a little bit of money with pre-owned deals that average around $140. Even if you end up upgrading to a bigger or more expensive interface in the future, it's really convenient to keep one of these as your portable setup or backup gear. Obviously, you can't have a vocal chain without a microphone. And my favorite microphone for beginners on a budget is the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure. The reason why I chose this microphone specifically is because I actually got hired by them to do a brand deal. And for that deal, I did a mic shootout between the Lewitt and the $12,000 Telefunken. And it's really rare for a brand to allow me to do a mic comparison against a really expensive and popular microphone like the Telefunken. So we put them side by side and we recorded the same vocal and song through both. And I was absolutely astonished by how close this microphone sounded to the Telefunken. And a lot of my viewers agreed. There were hundreds of comments of people praising this little mic and said that they actually preferred the way the Lewitt sounded over the Telefunken. All the voiceovers in today's video are recorded through the Lewitt, going straight into the Focusrite, and as you can hear, the sound quality is amazing. This mic can be purchased new for $289, and used, they sell for around $170. Considering the amazing sound quality and price, the Lewitt LCT 440 Pure is my #1 mic recommendation for beginners on a budget. This microphone comes with a few accessories. You get a shock mount and a pop filter. And this is really useful for when you're setting up your first home studio to have these accessories included in your purchase. So that means you don't have to buy anything extra other than a microphone stand. This is a microphone stand that I found on Amazon. It's called the Pile Pro microphone stand. And I liked it so much that I actually bought this twice. You really can't beat the price, and it holds even my heaviest microphones with no problem. Even though we have bigger, fancier, and more heavy-duty mic stands here in the studio, we always find ourselves using these $30 Amazon stands most frequently in our day-to-day work. If you record sitting at the computer, there's a bunch of great alternatives like tabletop stands, boom stands with an adjustable arm, and podcasting-style stands that clamp to your desk. You can pretty much put any mic on any stand, so choose whatever configuration seems most convenient to your space. Next, you want to be able to hear yourself really clearly while you're recording and producing. You also want to have the flexibility and the option to work late if you have neighbors or if you live with your family. So I definitely recommend headphones. My personal favorite headphone recommendation that you see me wear in every single video are these Audio-Technica ATH M50X headphones. These sound so good to me that I actually prefer these over the most expensive headphones that I have in my studio. So I would recommend these to anyone from beginner to professional. You definitely need a good pair of headphones in your home studio setup, and you also need to get familiar with how they sound. 10 years ago, when I was buying my beginner studio setup, I got the ATH M50X. I've used them almost every day for an entire decade. As my skills and career progressed, I never felt like I outgrew the sound quality, and the headphones themselves never deteriorated or started chipping or flaking away like some other headphones do. I also see tons of other professionals using these headphones in the studio, so it's safe to assume they'll be great for you as well. Now, if you're going to be producing music, you obviously need some sort of Midi controller. So my favorite is the iRig Keys by IK Multimedia. It's a compact device, and it's a little bit shorter than an actual keyboard, but it still has the full-size keys on the keyboard, which I definitely prefer. The touch and feel of the keys are nice and weighted, which I really love as well. Obviously, if you're just a singer recording your vocals, you don't technically need a MIDI controller, but I'm a big believer in understanding and learning at least the basics of production as a vocalist and the basics of singing as a producer. They go hand in hand, and if you want to be a professional and work with other collaborators in the studio, it's really helpful to have an understanding of both sides. It's truly critical to the communication and the flow of the creative process. Another really important quality is the instant plug and play. This keyboard just works when you plug it in. MIDI controllers are a great opportunity to buy used and save some money. For example, this iRig Keys 2 retails for $169 and can be purchased used for around $60 on websites like eBay or Reverb. Newer MIDI controllers connect with USB-C, but this one uses traditional USB, which means you may need an adapter to plug it in. Connecting with USB means you would need either a dongle or a hub. I prefer the hub, but if you are on a budget, a dongle works just as good. So let's hook up our keyboard. When it comes to USB and Thunderbolt hubs, I recommend this CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 Element Hub. But if all your devices are just USB, you can easily get by with any cheaper hub option. Your computer may already have the ports you need, and you don't even need a hub at all. But regardless, I find them extremely useful for cable management and maintaining an organized workspace. People are constantly asking me what the best speaker recommendations are for a beginner. These are the newly released Atom D3V studio monitors. Ever since Guitar Center sent us these, I have been obsessed with them. I've been using them nonstop. They really pack a punch for such tiny speakers. They're loud and they're very clear. Just like the headphones, I have way more expensive options of speakers in my studio, but I always find myself coming back to these. Another really cool feature that I find very unique about these speakers is that they can connect with just USB-C. So you don't technically need an interface. But for today's demonstration, we're gonna hook them up to the Focusrite interface. These are a brand new product, so they're actually really difficult to find used. So another great option for studio monitors are the Yamaha HS5s. They're small and compact just like the Atoms, but they're way easier to find used. You really can't go wrong with either option, especially if this is your first setup. The Atom D3V speakers are sold as a pair and retail for $300. The Yamaha HS5 speakers are comparable in size and sound quality, but they're much easier to find for a deal. The HS5 speakers cost $400 per pair, but when you look on the used market, you'll find used deals as low as $200. If you have the luxury to set up bigger, more bass-heavy speakers, the Yamaha HS8s are an excellent choice too. This is what I started with when I was building my first home studio setup 10 years ago. So we have all of our gear here, but nothing is connected yet. So that brings us to our next really important purchase, cables. There's a lot of brand and no-name brand options for cables, but my favorite cables are the KARRA cables. There's a few reasons why this is my favorite brand. Number one, I obviously love colors, and you can actually choose your favorite color and length. Number two, they have a really soft, nice memory to them, which means that they're less likely to get tangled or dented. Number three, they use really high quality connectors, and when you custom order your cables, you can choose what connectors you have on each end. For my microphone, I have XLR. For my speakers, I have TRS 1/4 inch. And if you need an adapter cable for both formats, you can easily order that too. Any color, any length, any type. I can't recommend KARRA cables enough. So let's go ahead and hook up our studio. The best place I found to buy KARRA cables is B&H. Simply search for KARRA, followed by your preferred connector type, cable color, and length. And when you place your order, a cable is custom made and shipped to your studio. For my price calculations, I'm going to pick an average length of 15 feet, which costs about $20 per cable. You'll need one XLR cable to connect your microphone and one speaker cable for each speaker. If you choose KARRA for all three of your cables, you'll be spending anywhere from $60 to $90 total. Extremely cheap cables can be risky, and extremely expensive cables can be a waste of money. So I find KARRA to be a perfect middle ground. So that completes our list of hardware. And now to tie it all together, we need some recording software. When it comes to choosing your first DAW, once again, you're gonna be faced with a lot of options. It's natural to start with the free software like BandLab or GarageBand, but when you're ready to upgrade your software, I definitely recommend Logic Pro. Reason number one is that there are a ton of tutorials and resources out there for you to actually learn the program, so you won't feel so alone in your learning journey. The DAW itself comes with every type of stock plugin and instrument you could possibly need to create a song from scratch. And it will feel like a long time before you actually feel the need to buy even more software. Just like audio interfaces, DAWs are all becoming extremely well-rounded and beginner-friendly. Every popular DAW includes a full menu of stock plugins for mixing and mastering, excellent tools for organizing and editing your recordings, and endless shortcuts and workflow hacks for you to discover. Some DAWs excel in MIDI-based production like FL Studio. Some DAWs excel in sampling and sound design like Ableton, and some DAWs excel in traditional audio recording and editing like Pro Tools. For me, Logic falls right in the middle and offers a great blend of everything. Your DAW preferences are heavily influenced by your genres of music, so do some research before making the commitment of choosing your DAW to ensure there's plenty of video and tutorial resources for you to learn and progress. I have videos on my channel using nearly every popular DAW, so check out each platform and see which one feels best for your creative mind. You'd be surprised at how professional you can sound with just using stock plugins in your DAW. And to help you get started in vocal production, I've created stock plugin vocal templates for every DAW. My templates not only give you a finished mix to record into, every template includes a course on how it's set up and how to use it. This template alleviates the learning curve on how to record and mix your vocals, and it's perfect for beginners. And while you're shopping on my website, imkarra.com, you'll notice that I also have presets for Waves plugins, which brings me to my next suggestion, which is third-party plugins. Not only are Waves plugins extremely affordable, but they are extremely popular, which again is great for learning how to use your plugins. When it comes to recommending plugins for beginners, I aim for options that are $50 and under. And everything on the Waves website is well within that price range. Some other amazing plugins for $50 or less include Valhalla reverbs and delays, standard clip, and auto-tune access. It's important to learn the plugins included with your DAW before you go adding more to your collection, but you really can't go wrong with any of these recommendations. And last but not least, acoustic treatments. Acoustic treatments are what you see on the walls of every professional recording studio. You specifically want to buy panels that are made out of rock wool and not foam. Even though foam is really squishy and looks similar to this, it's really reflective, so the sound just kind of bounces off of it. Whereas with rock wool, the sound is absorbed. Even though our studio desk is complete, Acoustic Treatment is easily the biggest sound quality upgrade you'll ever add to your studio space. Both your microphone and speakers will sound instantly better after hanging up some panels. Good treatment can make even the cheapest mic sound incredible, and bad treatment can make the most expensive mic sound terrible. Again, avoid the cheap foamy egg carton stuff, and also avoid the foamy wraparound mic shields that connect to your stand. I got mine from a business called Acoustics, who specialize in custom printing and graphics for aesthetically pleasing panels like these concrete textured ones I have all over my studio. However, you can find great Rockwool-based acoustic treatments at any major music retailer like Guitar Center, or search locally to see if any studios near you are possibly selling some used panels for a deal. And remember, acoustic treatment isn't a requirement to begin with. You can start developing your skills, releasing music, and reaching your audience without any acoustic treatment. But when you can finally get it, you definitely won't regret it. So that's our complete studio setup for beginners. You've got everything you need to produce, write, record, mix, and master your own music at home. Again, assuming you already have your computer, you can easily find an entire setup of pre-owned gear for just around your $1,000 budget. Buying everything new would cost you nearly twice as much, but of course, there's always added value in being the sole owner of your gear. If you want to save as much money as possible, have some patience. Dig for used deals and utilize the search engine filters on eBay or Reverb to find used gear near you. Also, check the completed and sold listings to research the history and current used market value of anything you need before buying. But now that we've got our entire studio set up, let's open Logic and record a song to hear how it sounds.
You know just what
First, let's use the Focusrite Control 2 app to set our input levels.
the key to turn me on. I'm on my way, I'm on my way.
Then record our lead vocals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know just what I want. I know you got the body, the key to turn me on. I'm on my way, I'm on my way. Already synchronized, don't gotta say it.
Now, let's add a vocal chain.
Do or die, I'm on my way, I'm on my way. Getting lost in you, there's a jungle in your eyes, and almost run wild with the way you move. Supernatural, make it come.
And record some doubles to fill out our chorus.
Need a little push tonight. Tell me if you're pulling up alright. Yeah, I push it, push it. I pull that. Need a little taste of mine. Only if you got an appetite. Yeah, I push it, push it. I pull that. Oh, 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 oh.
No post-chorus is complete without a catchy melody. So there you have my curated best home studio setup for beginners on a $1,000 budget. If you're resourceful with your shopping, you might even be able to find better prices than what I found. But regardless on how you get it, all of this studio gear is a great option for you to get started on your musical journey. Check out the links of everything that I've recommended in the description below, and I'll catch you guys next time in another video.